Brothers and sisters, good morning. This is Naftali Ranto, and welcome to today's episode, or what is it called? Bible study. And we are today, day number 7. We talk about the book of Genesis, chapter number 22 to chapter number 24. And the topic I have for today is faith, sacrifice, and God's providential plan. So that is the topic for today. If you are starting today, it's your first time to see this Bible study, I will say go and start on day number 1. It will help you a lot. You will understand later on, because the aim is to read the whole Bible in a period of 12 months. 1 year, we must be done with the whole Bible. So if you miss the first chapters, you might not get your footing correct. So go back, start from the first video we had, introduction, or the audio. If you are listening on Spotify, start from the beginning, the intro, and then you come with all of them until you reach this day number 7. We are a week now into this. Can you believe it? We started last week Friday, and today it is Thursday, and we are completing full 7 days in this. And if you have started with me and you have followed until now, please clap the hands for yourself, because you are amazing and you have done it. If you have done 7 days, you can go 365. Nothing can stop you to go further. Yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. And the summary for today, it is, when we look at the book of Genesis chapter 22, is talking about the Abraham test of faith. So when God, you want to use someone, he always put them through a test. Always through a test. I went through so many of them, and I managed to do well. So the ultimate test, God tests Abraham by asking him to sacrifice his son Isaac. Abraham obeys without hesitation, trusting God's plan. He just obeyed. He said, no matter what, I know God has a better plan all the time. So the second point is God's provision. So at the last moment, God intervenes and provides a ram as a substitute sacrifice. This event symbolizes unwavering faith and a foreshadow of Christ's ultimate sacrifice. So Abraham actually set the example for God, that later on it became Christ who was sacrificed as a lamb. Yeah, so that is how amazing the Bible is. So now the third thing still on Genesis 22 is God's blessing. So God reaffirms his covenant with Abraham, promising blessings, countless descendants, and that through his lineage, all nations will be blessed. How amazing is that? Just confirmation all the time. And this was just a test that God wanted to see how close will Abraham withhold his son. And Abraham let go. He did not hold back. So that is what is important in life. When God gives you something, he might ask for it back, just to see your attitude. And if you would respond well, you are going to be approved. So chapter 23 of the book of Genesis, the death of Sarah and Abraham's faithful act. So Sarah's death. Sarah dies at age 127, and Abraham mourns her deeply. And securing a burial site, Abraham purchases the cave of Machpelah in Hebron as a burial place, demonstrating his faith in God's promises of the land and his integrity in dealing with others. So Abraham now made a deal to buy a land where he will bury his wife, and it will be used as a burial site for his family. And they wanted to give him the place for free, but he said, no, I have to pay for it. So how many of us, when we get an offer and we are told you don't need to pay, and we somehow grab that and say, no, that is it. It's a bargain. But Abraham refused that. He said, no, I have to pay, because he understood the power. When you release the funds, it costs you something, then you are able to value that. So that's why he opted to say, no, I'm going to pay for it. And when you checked Genesis 24, now something starting here, Isaac and Rebekah, God's providential guidance. So seeking a wife for Isaac, Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for Isaac from his homeland in trusting the journey to God's guidance. So now Abraham is about to go. He sent now his servant to say, go and look for a wife for my son. Don't take a wife for my son in this place where I'm staying. So Rebekah's faith and kindness. So Rebekah demonstrates hospitality and is chosen by God to become Isaac's wife. So when you read the whole story, you will understand that when this servant, when they said, the woman that will come here and I say, please give me some water. And she says, I will give you water and I will also give the camels water. That will be the wife. And that is what exactly happened. It played just like that. So when you come to God, you need to have an expectation. At least have a certain thing that you want to see. A sign that will confirm that, no, this is what you are looking for. And this is not a deception. So a marriage purpose. So Rebekah highly lives her family trusting God's plan. Isaac and Rebekah union reflects God's providence and blessing on Abraham's lineage. So that is where now the family of Abraham was starting actually to expand. So we are going to dive in more on this topic going forward. So now, what do we learn out of this lesson? What lesson can we take for ourselves for a purposeful living, as we said? So when you look spiritually, trust God completely. Even when He asks for great sacrifice, He will always provide and fulfill His promises. I remember when God asked me for my car one time. It was not easy. It was a war. It was a struggle here at home. It was like Ukraine and Russia, but I obeyed, and the blessings, even today, what you see, I'm the result of that sacrifice. So how amazing is that? Then when you look at the family, Abraham's commitment to securing a godly wife for Isaac underscores the importance of building families rooted in faith and divine purpose. So it's very important to ask God for guidance, especially when you are looking for a partner, someone that you're going to live with. It's very important that you involve God in the process so that He can guide you to the right person. Otherwise, you might find yourself having to separate, and that is not what God wants. So health, Abraham's unwavering obedience and reliance on God's guidance exemplifies emotional resilience and spiritual strength. So he shows us that he was not desperate. He always trusted in God, and his emotions were intact, were in control. He was always in check with his emotions, because many people today, they take emotional decisions and later on they regret and say, wow, I supposed not to have done that. So the last thing, finance. So Abraham's integrity in purchasing Sarah's burial site teaches the value of fairness and honor in financial dealings. Whenever you have to make transactions or dealings or have to trade, you have to do whatever, you need to be fair. You need to be fair, because once you are fair, the blessing of God rests upon you. You find the favor with God and you find the favor with men. So it's very important for us when we deal with anything, matters relating to finances, we need to be fair, and we must be open, transparent as we can, so that God's blessing can be upon us. Now, when you look in conclusion now, these books of Genesis chapter 22 to 24, it reveals the beauty of faith, sacrifice, and God's providence. Abraham's trust in God, Rebekah's willingness to follow his plan, and Isaac's role in the covenant remind us that living a life of purpose requires surrender, trust, and alignment with God's will. As when we started, I said, if you do not know what you brought when you were having your hand like this when you were born, if you don't know that what you brought in the universe, you are going to wander around looking for people to tap you on the shoulder and say you are doing well, looking for approval. But once you know why you are here, why God brought you here on the universe, you are going to walk according to that purpose. And nobody, let me say it again, no one will be able to divert you from the purpose, because you understand it and you have seen. That's why it says Jesus, he enjoyed the cross because of the reward, because there was a reward that he knew very well what was coming after the cross. So that's why he enjoyed it until the end. So even you, once you know what is it that God wants you to do, on this planet, you are going to enjoy any hardship. It will not be a problem for you to carry it. So that is it for today. And I hope you are learning. Please give me feedback. Put it on the comments. Tell me what is it that you are learning. Is there something happening? Because I need some feedback from you. So may God bless you and have a great day until tomorrow. God bless you. Bye-bye.